Hi everyone, welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to my final Soulstone Survivors video for today, where when all else fails, we're resorting back to the Hound Master. We haven't played this fella in a while, but I have all the trust in the world that he is actually gonna bring us to victory. If you have not watched the previous episodes, what we are doing right now, what these couple of episodes in Soulstone Survivors are all about is achieving the hidden achievements by completing the little holiday event, which basically states that in curse level 35 plus, or 34 plus if I'm not mistaken, you have to kill the hidden boss. How do you do that, I hear you asking? Can this thing kill my dogs? It almost kills my dogs, but not completely. How you do that is, you have a boss from the first wave die. My dogs are immortal to his attacks. That's interesting. Let's try it out one more time. You have a boss from the first wave. Yeah, the dogs just don't die. Die on this red circle. This red little effigy that seems to be honoring a red snowflake cult or something like that. Then the second wave on the second soulstone you normally get from the bosses, which, as we all know, let's all say it in choir, is blue. Blue is the second color of soulstone you get. From the second wave you have... Ooh, sure. From the second wave you have a boss die on that circle. Shouldn't have taken that damage increase there. And then onwards and onwards until in the fifth wave you get a boss to die on the purple circle. Then a new portal opens to the hidden boss's lair. You have to kill him and then you get the achievement. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, if you watch the previous episodes, you know that I am on like the brink of insanity. And I'm actually very, very close to a mental breakdown right now. Because everything in my life just seems to go completely wrong, you know? You know what I'm saying? So let's just try and make it nice and calm, nice and smoothly. And let's also talk about something else, something other than the game for once, you know? What about the World Cup, the football, the soccer, whatever you want to call it, World Cup. Co-op. Did any of you guys catch that? I am normally not that interested in sports. Not that interested in seeing sports on TV. Maybe a little interested in doing sports myself, at least a lot more than earlier when I was really a lot younger. I love squashing, playing padel, I love running, I love walking, all that good stuff. But in soccer or football, I think I'm gonna go for soccer from now on. I don't necessarily saw the appeal of... that was stupid. I stayed in the vicinity of that hit. I didn't ever see the appeal of watching soccer on television. Now, for the World Cup, I was at my girlfriend's house at the time the final aired, and her father is very much into watching soccer on television, so there was no question, we were definitely watching that on TV at that moment. And I must say, in the end, it was okay. It was quite an enjoyable experience. I didn't dislike it. It's not something that I would do every time. I wouldn't just watch any regular old soccer game all the time, I think. But it's not something that I completely disliked or that I never want to do again. Especially because, well, the stakes were very high in this final, right? Argentina battled it out against France. And it was a very intense match, to be honest. We got penalties, we got overtime, we got Kylian Mbappe scoring quite a lot of goals. I always find that he looks really weird. It always looks like he is like rendered incompletely or something. That might sound weird, but if you see him, you might realize what I mean. I know that Messi finally got his World Cup title, which he has been after for a while already. Many consider him to be the greatest soccer player of all time though, and he is definitely one of the most well-known soccer players, if not the most well-known soccer player of our current time, right next to Ronaldo maybe. Debilitating Plague, that's nice to get early. We are relying on the synergistic talent tree to kind of carry us to greatness. I think I'm gonna get rid of the lightning shot because I know for a fact that these abilities, the shrapnel shot, are able to spread out the negative effects a lot better than the abilities we would otherwise have. Some critical damage is always nice, and for now all we need to do is have a boss die on top of this red circle. Sounds easy, In practice, it's actually not that easy at all. Damage increase for missiles, yes please. We definitely need to get... Oh, we already got rid of our buckshot. We still have some abilities that need to be changed up into something a bit more potent. Oh, that's not good, that's not good. That's the first revive pop, because as always, we got stuck on a little tree. But it was definitely our own mistake right there. That was just bad gameplay. I can blame that on the game. Can we dodge over here? I think we dodged it, actually, so that was pretty cool. Make sure that we keep moving along nice and quickly. Powerful strikes is gonna help us out. That boss needs to die because it's the last one of this wave, so it needs to actually die on top of the red circle, otherwise we will be in trouble again and not able to achieve the holiday event boss. It just died right next to the circle, didn't it? I sure think it did. Yep. Alright, no holiday event this video. Let's just try and get a regular old victory. I'm unfazed by it. I don't care. I don't mind. It can happen. We have all the time in the world to try and achieve that holiday event. So it doesn't have to be the specific video. Who were you guys rooting for? Were you rooting for France or for Argentina? Or are you like me and did it not really influence you at all and you didn't care about the World Finals at all? Or the World Cup in general? I know that we Belgians were out of the World Cup rather quickly. Not like right from the start, I think, but we didn't stay in too long this time around. But I'm not such a patriot. I'm not so proud on my country over here that I really want us to perform well in soccer tournaments. It doesn't really matter to me. Because in general, and this is gonna sound a bit like nagging and a bit like, oh, so having fun is not allowed on your watch, but I think that soccer players in general just earn way too much money for what they do, and I know for a fact, or from what I hear at least, that the business is also pretty goddamn corrupt. So I don't really want to get into it all that much, because I feel like there are better things to get into, if you ask me. Alright, well, now that we're not focusing on the holiday event, I guess we can just focus on surviving, and we don't need to kill the bosses in specific places, so we can just try and kill them without dying ourselves. Which would be nice for a change, you know? Not dying ourselves, that's something I would really enjoy, actually, to be honest. How is our build doing against lords right now? I feel like not too amazing, but not bad either. I think if our multicast procs proficient, or if our multicast procs in a nice manner, I think we can deal a lot of damage. So that's all we need to hope for, really, right? We're taking some damage ourselves, though. Some area of effect upgrades are, I think, the next order of business. The next thing we should focus on if we want to achieve greatness with this run. I feel like we are sometimes already dealing... Oh, multicast though, that's also very nice. Sometimes already dealing quite a lot of damage, which is very cool, of course. I know that this World Cup in Qatar, however you pronounce it in English, for some reason cost like a whole bunch more. But like, if I believe, it was like 40 times more or something than the previous World Cup. So that is pretty insane. A lot of money was pumped into the event this time around, and I hope for good reason, but I presume, or I cannot really think of such a good reason. I think some might argue like, yeah, it's such a connecting experience around the entire world, and that's what we need right now while Putin is bombing small farmers' villages in Ukraine. We need some people to kick a soccer ball around the field for 90 minutes, and that will make the world connected again. I say maybe reconsider how you think the world works, you know? I know what you want to say, and it's a beautiful idea that something like the Olympic Games or a sports event where a lot of countries are involved can actually clear up international geopolitical conflicts. Or maybe like make us rethink them, make Putin rethink what the hell he is doing, but I don't think it's happening. I'm sorry to say, but I don't think it really has the impact that you think it does. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's just like a whole lot of money. Damn, we took a lot of damage there. Let's take this healing crystal with us and maybe circle around it a little bit. Try and get another healing crystal to spawn if possible, because I don't want to lose this run. I never had the intention of playing soccer my own, even though it's quite a popular hobby here in Belgium, especially for young males. We are almost like pushed into it sometimes, like, oh, you want to practice sports in your free time? There goes my second revive because I got stuck on a tree yet again. Oh, you want to practice sports in your free time and you're a boy, why don't you join the soccer team? It's kind of like an automatic assumption that you as a boy would like to play soccer, but for me, no. Also, when we had it in physical education at school, everybody was always very hyped and I was like, oh, soccer, huh? It's not really up my alley, you know? It's not my favorite sport in the slightest. You know what I did enjoy in high school when we had that in physical education? Volleyball. Oh man, that is one of my favorite sports out there for sure. If you're playing with people that actually want to do it well, they want to play well and they want to make the most of it, get the most out of it, then it can be very fun. Yeah, thanks for the level up. See you in the next one. Bye bye.